What's up, folks? It's Tony Doles again. I haven't made a rant in a while, so I figured I would see how everybody's doing out there in the world. You know, it's not getting any better, folks. We just had a recent school shooting. 17 kids dead, folks. It's terrible. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, this supersedes race. You know, no matter what race you are, this affects us all. You know, it does. And it's a sad thing, folks, sad thing. 17 children murdered, you know, and by this kid named Nicholas Cruz. And let me explain something to you, folks. The government, of course, anytime anything like this happens, the first thing the government does, what do? Oh, gun control law. Gun control law. It wasn't the gun. The AR-15 did not grow legs and walk into that school and start shooting people. Okay, they didn't do it, you know. What happened was this kid had been bullied his whole life, and he didn't know how to deal with social issues. You know, he didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't know how to deal with bullying. He didn't know how to stand up for himself. So what he did is what he's seen on either TV or the internet, and that's how he dealt with it. Let me tell you this. The FBI knew 2 months prior, 2 months, that this kid had posted that he wanted to be a professional school shooter. The police, it was reported to the police several times. This kid's talking about shooting up the school. He's starting to stockpile these weapons, you know? That's very reminiscent of Columbine, you know what I mean? Sandy Hook. I mean, there's a Pulse nightclub shooting, Las Vegas. Very reminiscent of this, you know what I mean? These people, the government wants to sit there and try to push another gun control bill, but it's not the gun that's doing it, folks. It's that these kids and these people don't know how to deal with social issues. They don't know how to deal with them anymore. You know, everybody's offended by everything. You know, everybody's offended by everything nowadays. You don't know what you can and can't do anymore. You know, you can't discipline your kid. You know, you can't even teach your kid to fight anymore. If he goes to school and fights, he goes to jail. You know, they throw him in juvenile hall, and then the parents as well. You know? Look, this is getting stupid, folks. America's getting stupid. I mean, nowadays, these kids, what are they doing? They're playing this knockout game. They've been doing that, where they walk around, they'll knock out an elderly person thinking this is cool, you know what I mean? Or they're eating Tide Pods. Tide Pods? Really? Oh, and don't blame the kids for doing that. What they're going to do now is they're going to make the Tide Pods not look so colorful so the kids won't think they're candy even though they're 17, 18 years old doing this. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to take responsibility for nothing anymore, folks. You know? And I don't blame the parents. Usually I'll blame the parents. I ain't blaming the parents this time. I'm not blaming them. Let me tell you why. In today's society, it is so hard to pay the bills nowadays. I mean, some parents are single parents, you know, mom or dad, you know, single, they're trying to work a job or 2 jobs. I mean, and the cost of living is so high, they have to do this. They don't have time for their kids. So they send them to school, or they try to send them out, you know, to socialize in the neighborhood, but they don't do that. What they do is they get online, or they'll play video games all day, violent video games, which I'm not blaming the video games either. You know, but that's what they're relating to. So that's what they see. That's what they relate to. They can't separate fantasy from reality anymore. You know, GTA, Grand Theft Auto, you know, where you go drag somebody in a car and beat them down. People think that's cool, man. You know, and it happens constantly. So I'm not blaming the parents because, you know, they have to work. They have to support their kids. They have to put them in, you know, keep them in food. They have to keep food on the table. They have to keep the kids, you know, in decent clothes so they ain't made fun of or bullied at school, you know, which makes it worse, you know what I mean? So what I got to say is this right here, folks. We need to start sitting here looking at ourselves. We need to start looking at ourselves again, because nowadays what's popping up again is also racism. Racism is back, folks. Really? I thought we were past all this shit, man. I thought we were past this racism bullshit. Let me explain something to you. You know, I hear a whole bunch of people talking about how it's so hard for them because they live in the ghetto to climb up out of the ghetto and, you know, all this other stuff, these white privilege and all this other stuff. Let me explain something to you. I was raised in the ghetto, folks. I was raised in the ghetto. You understand that? I lived in Del Paso Heights a lot of my time in Sacramento, a lot of my life in Sacramento, and also in Kansas City. You know what I mean? I ran in the streets of Kansas City quite often. I've been to prison several times. I've been convicted of robbery, several robberies. I've been convicted of attempted murder twice. You know what I mean? I got done doing 13 years in prison. My mom was on welfare. My father was never there. You know what I mean? It took me 40 years to climb up out of there, but I fucking did it, man. I fucking did it. I climbed up out of there on my own doing it, my own choice. I decided once I walked out of prison, you know what, I ain't fucking doing this shit anymore. But you know what? I've been a drug dealer the whole scenario. So all these people talking about how they can't climb up out of the ghetto or nothing because of white people holding them down or whatever. You know what? I ain't never held nobody down. Nobody. I've held them up, but I ain't never held them down. Believe that. So what makes them different than me? Huh? You know, why is it that all of a sudden I'm a racist because my skin color is white, even though we were raised the exact same way? Or even worse, I was raised in the ghetto as a white. I'm a white man, and I was raised in the ghetto. I mean, come on, man, come on. You know, I got family that were shooters. My cousin, he shot a couple people himself. You know, my father was in prison for bank robbery and murder. I mean, come on, man, how is your family, you know, any different than mine? How am I any better than you? You know, because my skin color, 1/8 of an inch difference between us. Skin is only 1/8 of an inch deep. 1/8 of an inch difference between us makes me better than you? Nah, that ain't how it is, folks. That ain't how it is. That's an excuse. That's a motherfucking excuse. I'm telling you that right now. I climbed up out of there. You know, I walked out of prison after 13 motherfucking years. And let me tell you this. When I got out, my parole officer, I didn't know where to go. My parole officer said, well, there's plenty of bridges around here. You think I'm gonna live under a damn bridge, homie? No, I'm gonna get on my motherfucking feet, and I'm coming straight up. I'm coming all the way up to the top. I'm not letting anybody hold me down. If you're being held down, it's because you're letting them hold you down. That makes you a weak person. Makes you weak. That's simple. You know, I ain't letting nobody hold me down. I don't give a shit what they call me. Call me honky, pecker with cracker, whatever. You know, if you're a black man, you get offended by nigga, whatever. I don't give a fuck, man. If you're letting somebody hold you down with words or unless they're physically stepping on your motherfucking neck, you know what I mean, holding you down, you ain't being held down. You're holding yourself down. That's simple. That's how it is, folks. That's how it is. Now, if you don't like the truth, you know, click off on this. Hit pause, you know, go to another video. But that's how it is nowadays, you know? And it's just, I mean, it keeps getting worse and worse. We keep trying to blame each other. Let me tell you something. This is the government doing that. The Romans came out with the greatest way to conquer a country. You know how that is? Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. If we keep if they keep us at each other's throat, we can't see what they're doing. They're coming out with they want to come out with these new gun control laws and stuff. Let me explain to you what happens in a bill. Okay, when they take a bill, you've all seen the Schoolhouse Rock deal. You know, I'm a bill, want to be a law, that type of thing. When they write the bill up, they don't only just write in about gun control. They'll put some other hidden crap off in there because nobody's going to read a 500-page bill. You know, they're not going to see it word for word what's going on. And if they do, they probably won't even understand it. But they'll pass a gun control bill, and then it's also going to have other things in there like and raise taxes for the poor people, not the rich. Drop taxes on the rich, but raise it for the poor. We pay the most taxes. We pay more taxes than a millionaire. Do you know that? That's right, folks. We pay more taxes than a millionaire. And people don't even realize this. You know, they just want to sit there and focus on idiot issues like racism or you know, an inanimate object being the cause of this, you know, or a Tide Pod. We got to change the color because these kids are, you know what they're saying? They're changing the color of these Tide Pods because these kids are too fucking stupid to know the goddamn difference. That's what I'm saying, folks. That's what I'm saying, folks. Sorry about the coughing. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold here. But I'm going to tell you this right here, folks. If it keeps going like it is, I may just up and go. You hear everybody talking about, if Trump's president, I'm going to move to fucking Canada or Mexico. You know what I'm going to say? If it keeps going like it is, I'm going to move my ass to Mexico because I was in Mexico for a long freaking time, folks. I was down there a long time, and I felt pretty free down there, believe it or not. So if it keeps going like it is, I may just move out. So I'm going to say this right here. If you got a comment, I mean, if I don't really read the comments too much or when people post on any of my videos, but sometimes I'll scroll down them and check them out, see what they're saying. So look here. If, you got something to say, you want to say something to me, I mean, if you post something stupid, I'm probably just not even going to respond. But if you got a legitimate issue, like you can relate in some way, let me know. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying, white people, I ain't saying black people, I'm saying anybody. Doesn't matter who you are. If you can relate to what I'm saying, comment below. I mean, even if you don't, if you don't agree with me, you can comment. You know what I mean? I have no problem. And if you do comment, and I think they're useful comments, I'll use them in my next video, folks. This is Tony Doles right here. Let me tell you something. Y'all have a great and peaceful and blessed day.